1851, 7 plus 3. Here, let's try that one. Okay, starts with e4. Let's play the Alekhine's defense. Lousy, 1851. So this is a slightly faster time control. It's 7 minutes with 3-second increment instead of 8 and 4 that I usually play. Okay, I play d6 here so that later when I play knight c6, if he pushes the pawn, okay, but he takes right away. So that didn't happen. I'm still going to go for knight c6 here, unless he pushes right away, of course. I'll have to try something else. Okay, well, he played that first part very quickly, but now he's thinking. The knight is hitting the c-pawn. It's defended by the bishop, but sometimes they want to play b3 to defend the c-pawn. I'm going to go ahead and pin that knight first. Get my bishop outside the pawn chain so that if I feel the need to play e6, it won't be blocked in. And now I am going to play e6 because I want to get castled. It may be possible to play e5 there. That's, I guess, something I should check out in the post-mortem. But it seems a bit risky to open up the center before I've castled. So I'm going to take this kind of go slow approach here. Give my bishop to e7 and get castled. Okay, so I played that first part kind of quickly. I've only used up, since I started 7 minutes, I've only used up 15 seconds. So let's try and slow down and think about it. But, well, like I said, I was going to play bishop e7. Anyway. Maybe after I get castled, I'll slow down and start to think. So all this is pretty logical. This d-pawn is still adequately defended. Kicks the bishop. So here's the point where I have to decide. I mean, one idea is to take the knight and then push the e-pawn forward so that this knight gets a good square. Either on, well, yeah, maybe potentially the d4 square. Let's try this. Just take and play e5, and then if he takes my knight, he just takes back. You know, he's giving up the bishop here. So he goes there. Yeah, this is what I was thinking, is that I had this square for the knight now. Hits his bishop. And it's a bit of an annoying piece there. And let's see, it can come around to f5, so it won't get trapped, I don't think. So he's just going to trade it off. Okay, well, let's take the light squared bishop then. And then bring my knight around. Seems like a pretty normal position here. Maybe, yeah, maybe I have the bad bishop here. Maybe that's what white has going for him in this position. I didn't take that into account. But I could put the bishop on this square. He could put his knight there. Maybe something like this. Rook to the c file. Well, how about play a5 first, and then rook to the c file. With the idea of playing knight to c5, hitting this pawn. He's hitting my pawn, but it's defended. So this bad bishop is defending a good pawn, as the saying goes. Okay, he can play bishop there. So let's be a little respectful of that idea. Knight f6, bishop h6, knight 2, h5 hitting the queen. The queen can come forward keeping the pin. Can defend the knight with a pawn. But then that hangs this. Okay, so let's move the rook out of the way. Oh, okay, he wanted to play it that way. So, knight here. Let's see how he reacts to that. Defends with the rook. Okay, now bishop to f6 is possible. He takes, I take with the bishop hitting his queen. There's also bishop to h4. The queen can move, though, and stay on that line. And the exchange doesn't seem to do a whole lot. Let's just put the bishop on f6. Queen's defending this pawn. If he takes, my bishop and queen will be defending the pawn, and I'll be hitting his queen. So I should be okay here. Also got knight to e4 in some cases. Interesting, complicated position. I wonder if he can sacrifice the knight here. Knight takes d6, queen takes, pawn takes. I can take back with the bishop, so I guess that doesn't really work. I mean, it kind of looks like it's setting up a fork, but he doesn't have enough force on the on that e5 square. I could play pawn to e4 as well as knight to e4. Yeah, maybe I should now that he's pushed. Pawn to e4, and the knight could come into d3. If I play pawn to e4 right away, he can take here. So what to do? There's knight to e4. Now there's this bishop move, huh? And then now there's pawn to e4. Queen can come to f4, and I have rook to e5, defending or blocking the queen's view of that pawn. My queen is still defending the bishop. Complicated position. If he pushes this pawn forward, I have to take with the bishop. If he does basically nothing, I might still bring my bishop back here, because the square on e5 looks like a good square for the bishop. It was just, yeah. So let's do that. Go here to here, and then maybe bring my queen out over on this side of the board. Get the bishop to e5, defending that center pawn. And yeah, the queen can come in here to h4, threatening a check on g3. So taking advantage of his advanced pawns, the pawns that he's advanced along the king side. He can push on with g4 to shut down g5. g4 to g5 would kind of shut down that plan. Then I don't know what I would do. Maybe some knight maneuver, knight here to here. It's not going anywhere, is it? Ah, so he lifted his king up. Okay, let's get my queen over here while I have the chance. He's going to play bishop to f2 if I do that. Interesting. Okay, let's get this knight a little closer to the action. I'm not quite sure what it's doing just yet, but it's controlling the f2 square. So now I can play queen h4. And just bringing your pieces in closer to the action is sometimes a good idea when you don't have a concrete plan. Now, of course, it's better if you can calculate, but sometimes you just don't see anything. I think white has trouble here too. So, when I moved the knight, they loosened up. This pawn is now loose. Well, the bishop can move, and then that will defend the pawn because the rook is still there. But I have to be careful about putting the bishop somewhere that holds on to everything. Okay, so he went there. So let's bring in the queen. Bring in those big guns and see what happens here. Yeah, so let's get rid of that bishop. So he wants to... Well, I guess that was forced, huh? So I can trade queens and then maybe play for this passed pawn. And maybe his knight is out of play. But maybe it's better to keep the queen on, isn't it? Isn't that better? It's not so easy to maneuver the queen around, though, is it? Okay, queen's off. And now let's do something over here. Well, let's think. I need to defend this pawn so my bishop can move. So I guess I should start by going here. And then if he plays knight to c2, yeah, now where's the bishop going? Just back here, I guess. Now if he plays knight to c2, he's just going to win the pawn, huh? That's too bad. Yeah, I don't quite double in time. Okay, well, let's put the bishop back here. So it's 3 on 4 on this side, and I just have to try and activate my king here. So g6, if he pushes this pawn forward, I can take it with the bishop. And if he takes, I can take, and yeah, we'll get an open line here. Or my rook. Now my bishop is still in a better spot than his knight, but his knight can come out, so it's not a permanent advantage. Okay, so let's activate the rook. There it goes. There it goes. So where is it going from there? It's got this square. It's a good square. It's controlling the entry squares of my rook. Let's try and do something here with these pawns. Okay, let's move the rook aside. Or away from the knight. Just got to open up a line for my rook here to activate it. So he goes there. Okay. Bring my rook over to this side. Okay, so let's take and let's get this check in. Goes there. Okay, so the problem here is that if I move my bishop, he can take this pawn. Yeah, let's attack. Let's attack this pawn over here. Not so easy for him to defend it. This king comes forward. Ah, so he went that way. Okay. Let's take here first. And we get to take here with check. And we get to put the rook behind the pawn. So he goes there. Okay. So now I should move my bishop away. Yeah, I could give one more check here, can't I? Then move my bishop away. I'm running low on time here. Tricky, tricky, tricky. So let's, oops, I walked into a fork there. Okay, but he's just going to queen there, huh? Still got that fork. Okay. Oops. Not working, huh? Well, that's too bad. It's attack of the pawns. Attack of the killer pawns. I mean, I do have passed pawns. Okay, so now I'm threatening mate here. Well, that was a crazy game. I will maybe upload this. We'll think about it. See you guys later. Bye.